content creators are probably the best form of advertisement in this current day and age. Now, when you look at the demographic or the age demographic that brands are trying to reach when they look for someone in the target audience of a content creator, it's usually around 16 to about 25 that they're looking for. And that demographic is so hard to get to because everyone is on the internet and you have ad block and no one's really watching fucking TV anymore, and they're just playing video games or watching videos on YouTube. So it's very hard to reach this demographic itself. And one of the best ways to do that is through content creators on Twitch or on YouTube. And no one's also falling for those shitty commercials like fucking Life Alert, where it's like, oh, I can't help, I can't get up or whatever. And it's like, okay, yeah, no one's falling for that shit anymore. So you need to have some better form of advertisement in order to kind of lure in those people to try your product or think about your product next time that they're on the market for something like a fucking heart monitor or some shit. So one of the biggest examples for a content creator kind of boosting a brand is Ninja. Ninja's probably the biggest example recently, and how he has boosted Fortnite to be one of the biggest games currently today. And without Ninja, I don't think Fortnite would be as successful as it is today. Most definitely. To say what degree, I'm not sure, but it's most certain that Ninja has helped Fortnite blow up and how he's reached this younger demographic of, fucking 10-year-olds to 16-year-olds or some shit, and how everyone wants to be like Ninja, like, oh, he's so good at the game, like, wow, I wish I could be like Ninja, and he's super great, I want to get into Fortnite. And so, I'm not trying to knock on the guy, that's fucking cool. If you want to do that and you want to do a family friendly stream, yeah, that's fine if you want to do that as your brand. And that has gotten a lot of people to actually play Fortnite, and also a lot of parents to allow their kids to play or watch Ninja stream Fortnite because they know it's a family friendly stream. And then you have someone like TSM Myth, who also does Fortnite as well too, and his stream is a little bit more laid back. Sure, it's not incredibly vulgar and shit, but it's less kid friendly than Ninja's. So now you have a little bit of a spectrum of, okay, all right, I can either choose this guy or this guy. So you have multiple choices to choose who you want to kind of follow as a content creator, and then that still reaches that brand of Fortnite itself anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then you have Summit 1G, who also plays Fortnite as well too, but he's mostly known for his Counter-Strike days when he was a professional, and then of course when he was streaming as well too, more regularly of Counter-Strike. But he recently even got a skin in Fortnite. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That's the fucking Summit 1G skin called Summit Striker. And so even now, games and brands are kind of giving back to content creators and saying hey, we like Summit 1G too. I heard you guys do too. Guess what? Hey, we're cool. We're hip. What are you guys doing later on tonight? Maybe we could go get a couple beers. So that's what Fortnite's trying to fucking do. So they got this skin, and it's kind of an ode to Summit. You can already tell it's with his colors and shit. So they're trying to connect a brand with a content creator. And then you have people like Dr. Disrespect for PUBG. Now, his whole persona and everything is super serious, badass, but in a funny way, an ironic kind of way, and sarcastic. And so that's a perfect brand match for PUBG, and how they are all about this hardcore military shit and everything, and you can go kill people in PUBG or whatever. And so that's a great brand ambassador for that. And even Riot has shifted focus towards content creators now, and how previously, before, they actually weren't that big on content creators. They knew they existed and everything, but they really would never feature them in the client at all. And then they would never really talk about them on LCS broadcasts or anything like that. And so now they have shifted to where, yes, now they allow content creators on the actual client. Now they talk about them on stream. Now they even partner with them at events. And even with the whole WWE thing that's going on right now with I'm a Cutie Pie and Tyler One, and also the WWE doing a collaboration and stuff, like, yeah, this is a form of advertisement for Riot Games themselves, and connecting brands all together, and maybe connecting different crowds together so that you can have more people play the game. And the content creation program that they have is also another form in which they're allowing content creators to kind of get into Riot and their brand, and how you can give out skins to your viewers and kind of give these community gifts back to your entire stream. And so these programs are really great for Riot and trying to shift focus towards content creation, and they realize where the market is heading towards. I mean, even with their whole Twitch Prime thing and redeemable points towards their own stream and everything, and kind of connecting your Riot or your League of Legends account to Twitch, it's like, okay, you can do that, and maybe even since you're on Twitch, maybe you'll browse other content creators. There's a higher chance that you will, and then you'll get kind of scooped up into some League of Legends content creator, and then therefore play League of Legends. So it's all about attaching your brand to another brand so that you can have more reach out wide and more strands to connect to. And then we even have traditional stars that are popping up into streaming websites like Twitch. Like you have Drake and Snoop Dogg and T-Pain and Steve Aoki. Like, they are moving over to platforms like Twitch because they know that's a great way to influence that young demographic audience and to get them to listen to their music or get into their own brand, or maybe they have a clothing brand or some shit too. So companies have started to realize that no one gives a fuck about them. Like, no one gives a fuck about a giant conglomerate and how well they're doing this commercial or whatever the fuck. Like, no one cares about that. They want a personality behind it. You know, like Starbucks was super small back in Seattle, and everyone would still go to Starbucks and say, okay, this is a local brand that's really cool. And then it started blowing up worldwide, and suddenly people stopped giving a fuck about Starbucks, and now their coffee is super shitty, right? Like, no Seattleite really goes to Starbucks and is just like, oh yeah, this is the best coffee ever. Like, no, you're going to some local fucking coffee shop and getting like a Swiss chocolate fucking mocha or some shit. Like, shout out to Cafe Swiss. But you're going to these smaller shops because you want a personality behind it instead. And so companies have started to realize this, and they care about the people surrounding the actual brand itself. That's what buyers actually care about when they look at a brand, at least in part. And so now you have controversial figures that are looking to get back into content creation and associating themselves with a brand, like Tyler One, for instance, and how he was unbanned, and now he's going with this whole reformed type thing. And Riot can then say, oh hey, look, our moral code does work. See, we can get people to be nice and play nice within our game. And then suddenly they get a great advertisement from Tyler One because he's one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. You have people like XQC and Overwatch, who is still massively popular even when he doesn't play Overwatch. He played like Minecraft a couple days ago or some shit, and he got like insane viewership. So people they don't care necessarily about the game itself, but the personality behind it as well too. And he's still banned from Overwatch League and shit, but this is a good personality to get behind your brand if you are really looking to outreach into a more a wider demographic. And Blizzard still kind of shuns him and pushes him away, but that's their choice. They have chosen that they don't want to associate themselves with that brand because he's too toxic or too volatile, whatever. And then you have Shroud. Now, Shroud was super massive in CSGO, and that's how he launched his entire career, as being like a professional as well too in it. And that's also why he stayed on Cloud9 for as long as he did, because his brand was so massive that it didn't really matter how badly he performed in the professional circuit. He was still really valuable to Cloud9's Counter-Strike team because it brought a lot of publicity and a lot of eyeballs to it, especially for their sponsors. So it's not just restricted towards companies, but also teams themselves. Teams can look to get someone like Shroud or someone like Sneaky as well too on the League of Legends team. You can get someone like him on your team, and he has a massive Twitch following and a massive viewer base following, even on YouTube and stuff. So it just goes to show that it's not all about how good someone is on a team as well too, because Sneaky's not fucking the best ADC in North America. Like, we all know that shit. Like, he's pretty good, yeah, and pretty serviceable, and so that makes the bullet less harsh to take, right? Because he is actually decent at the game. So instead, his brand and then both being pretty good at the game as well too, like, okay, well now we're talking, and now you can get higher salary and you can stay on our team and so forth. So these are just as important for teams as it is for companies or big brands like Riot and Blizzard. And then this isn't just restricted towards Twitch itself too, although Twitch is the primary thing because, of course, you have people streaming for like 6 or 8 hours every single day. So it's a great form of advertisement in the long run because you're getting a lot of hours and a lot of eyeballs on whatever brand that you have associated with that streamer. It's probably the most effective way. But you also have YouTube content creators, people like Travis with Omen by HP and how he was advertising that. And I know that's kind of a gray area because he also did the stream for Hotline League or whatever, but also the YouTube videos as well. But someone else like Thorn with esports pools and how he did those funny intros every time and was talking about betting and everything. And it's that content creation, they want a person or a personality to be associated with it. I mean, just imagine if Thorn were to do a advertisement for esports pools and just do a regular advertisement every time of just go bet at esports pools where you can bet on Counter-Strike and League of no one fucking wants that. So he put his own spin on it, his own personality, because that's what it is to be a content creator and also do advertising for another company, is that they expect you to put your personality into that brand. That's how people associate that brand with that personality themselves. So you have to first initially have a good match of who you want to match with your brand and with your entire company, and then go look out for a content creator as such. And the relationship will be amicable too, because their viewers will probably also reflect on that a little bit better and better associate with your brand because you took the time to actually see who could kind of fit into your brand itself. So content creation is the future of advertisement. I mean, personalities, they give color to a brand and they make it seem a lot more human and a lot more relatable. So I think content creators are the future of advertisement. I don't think it's going anywhere, and I think all the big companies and conglomerates are now realizing that, and I think this is some of the best form of advertisement that we will see in this current day and age.